Donald Trump. He had a message for the victims who have been ravaged by Hurricane Helene. According to the headlines from the Washington Post, quote, "You'll be okay," close quote. Trump's message to Hurricane Helene victims draws attacks. Critics tied the remarks, or the recent remarks, to a proposal in Project 2025, a conservative plan to privatize weather forecasting, now done by government agencies. Tyrone Bowman live. Welcome to the program on tonight. Let's have a conversation. According to the Washington Post, the fallout from the devastation caused by Hurricane Helene is entering the political arena, with Vice President Kamala Harris and her allies using former President Donald Trump's comments about the hurricane to attack him and highlight his alleged ties to a conservative plan to end government weather forecast. At a rally Friday in Walker, Michigan, Trump said he was thinking of those in Alabama and other states hit by the storm. "We're with you all the way, and if we were there, we'd be helping you," he said. "You'll be okay," quote, close quote. Kamala HQ, or headquarters, the Harris campaign's X account immediately shared the video clip with its roughly 1.3 million followers, suggesting that the former president was downplaying the deadly disaster and showing a lack of empathy. "You'll be okay," the tweet read, along with the parenthetical note, "Dozens of deaths have already been reported." On and off social media, the campaign and its supporters also hammered Trump for denying human-caused climate change, which scientists say may be allowing hurricanes such as Helene to rapidly intensify. In addition, Harris's allies heightened that Project 2025, the roadmap for a second Trump administration drafted by conservative think tanks in Washington, would privatize weather forecasting now done by federal agencies. Trump supporters have argued that the Harris campaign took the, quote, "You'll be okay," close quote, remark out of context. Well, isn't that what Trump does all the time? In a recent video, he took snippets of Vice President Kamala Harris, or his people did, and they showed serious things that are going on in the nation, and they said she was laughing at them, which was an outright lie. It's called distorted images. So all is fair game, all is fair in love and war, as the saying goes. Now let's get back to the article. Trump supporters have argued that the Harris campaign took his words out of context. President Trump is traveling to Georgia to receive an update on the devastation from Hurricane Helene. First of all, he's not the president. And I'm going to keep saying that until they get it. He is not the president. He is the former president. They try to act like President Biden is not even in office. And these numbskulls are calling J.D. Vance the vice president. How the Sam Hill can you call Vance the vice president when he hasn't been elected? That's that nonsensical stuff that these people are out of touch with and talking about, you know? So he's supposed to be going to Georgia, the former president, to receive an update. And the Trump campaign spokeswoman Caroline Levitt said in an email, "Where's Kamala? Oh, that's right. She is winning and dining with the radical left donors in San Francisco." Pretty much like Trump playing golf on the golf course. When he was president, he golfed more than any other president in the history of the presidency. And she keeps calling him president. But I'm going to insert former President Trump has repeatedly said Project 2025 has nothing to do with him or his campaign, which is a lie. He knows everything about Project 2025. You can lie and deny all you want. It doesn't make it a stipulated fact. Trump has repeatedly denied knowing anything about the blueprint or the people. They all came from your former administration. You know of every last one of them. Even though many of its authors held senior roles in his administration and has praised Project 2025 sponsor, the Heritage Foundation. In 2022, Trump addressed a Heritage Conference and said of the foundation's policy proposals, quote, "They're going to lay the groundwork and detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do," close quote. Those were his exact words. So he's not being forthright. And he's not telling the truth. That's the bottom line. Project 2025 describes the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the parent agency of the National Weather Service, as one of the main drivers of the climate change alarm industry. The blueprint also argues that the Federal Emergency Management Agency, which has played a central role in responding to Helene, should cover less of the cost of disasters. Project 2025 would kill the National Weather Service and kill emergency disaster funding for state, local, and governments. The Lincoln Project, a group formed by disaffected Republicans, wrote on X, "Trump's not just stupid, he's dangerous." The plan does not propose eliminating NWS, which provides weather and climate forecasts and warnings for the United States and its territories. Rather, the plan suggests that the agency should fully commercialize its forecasting operations like outlets such as AccuWeather and the Weather Channel. Why? So his billionaire friends can make more money? If I told you who the Weather Channel was owned by, y'all would really be angry in the comment section. Let's put it this way. It's not owned by a white person. It's owned by a billionaire black man. I bet you didn't know that, did you? MAGA. Some former Trump administration officials say they don't share Project's 2025 vision for federal weather agencies, nor would they expect Trump to embrace them during the second term. Yes, he would. There's 0% chance that anything in Project 2025 related to NOAA or weather will ever be considered or implemented. Ryan Mau, a meteorologist who briefly served as NOAA's chief scientist under Trump, wrote on X, just like he didn't know what the Sam Hill he was doing during the COVID pandemic, telling people to take bleach and all this other kind of foolishness that he was saying out of his mouth. Project 2025 says little about the National Hurricane Center, another office within NOAA that provides life-saving storm forecasts. The document suggests that the White House should review the work of the National Hurricane Center, and that data collected by the department should be presented neutrally, without adjustments intended to support any one side in the climate debate. Climate control is real. Whether you all want to admit it or not, whether you all like it or not. Harris has canceled campaign events Monday and plans to return early to Washington from Las Vegas for a briefing on the federal response to Helene. Trump on Monday plans to visit Valdosta, Georgia, one of the communities heavily affected by the hurricane. Over the weekend, Trump criticized Harris for not immediately traveling to the areas ravaged by Helene. You know, you are so stupid. Why the Sam Hill would she be running to a disaster area while the hurricane is still taking place? He didn't take his behind down there and go. This man just lies and criticizes he nitpicks about every little thing. He reminds me of some parents whose children hate them because they find fault in everything that the child does. It's insidious, some of the dumb, asinine things that this man continues to say out of his mouth. That's why I'm going to have a full report prior to the election. I'm pulling out all the stops. I'm pulling out all the videos from the insurrection, all the statements that he made. And I'm going to show you what a second Trump administration in America would look like. But disaster experts say it can be complicated to time a visit by a sitting president or vice president to such areas, such the extensive logistics involved could disrupt response efforts. He knows that because he was the president at one time. He didn't go running to different places because he was too busy playing golf and eating from McDonald's. When a president comes into a disaster area, all aircraft are grounded for security reasons, said Eric Holman, the former director of the King County, Washington Office of Emergency Management. You don't want to ground helicopters or drones that are trying to figure out how bad things are and what resources are needed, and you don't need the political distraction. But he's not giving President Biden any credit for declaring the emergency disaster relief and sending monies to these states that are governed by Republicans, but they're taking every dollar and then they're criticizing him and bad-mouthing him along the way instead of saying thank you. Anything that Biden does, he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. Can never appease these people. Trump has repeatedly called climate change a hoax, like everything else. A witch hunt is a hoax. I'm the best of this. I'm the best of that. Nobody ever did anything ever better. Blah, 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 blah. I'm the only one. I'm a self-centered, narcissistic, egocentric maniac. During a news conference in New York on Thursday, he argued that nuclear warming poses a greater threat to humanity than global warming, echoing comments he made during an August conversation with billionaire Elon Musk. I don't pay Elon Musk any mind. He's just like Trump. What Democrats should start mentioning is nuclear warming because we're in grave danger, the former president said. What you need to do is start getting a campaign that's a campaign instead of telling the Democrats what to do. They're not paying you any mind. You don't tell them what to do. And according to the article, it is unclear what Trump means by nuclear warming. He could be referring to the possibility of nuclear war with Russia, which experts say would actually cool the planet's climate. During his first term, Trump faced criticism for his handling of major hurricanes. In 2018, he casually tossed rolls of toilet paper, rolls of paper towels, into a crowd in San Juan, Puerto Rico after the island was devastated by Hurricane Maria a year earlier. In a 2019 incident that became known as Sharpie Gate, Trump used a marker to modify an NOAA forecast map and incorrectly suggests Hurricane Dorian could affect Alabama. An investigation later found political influence led NOAA to release a statement backing Trump's false claim and undermining its own forecast. This is messy. And Trump has made it crystal clear that he will respond to climate disaster exactly the same way he did during his presidency. Well, that says it all. You have a right to vote for Trump. Nobody's telling you all, Alex, not to vote for Trump, just like I have a right to vote for Kamala Harris. Never surrender.